All right, so you know how sometimes you think about a movie
Yeah.
and you start to think about like, what if they cast
Yeah.
a different actor,
Oh yeah.
like a completely different?
I do that all the time.
Yeah, so we're gonna dive into that today.
Okay.
And the movie we're gonna be talking about is Fist of Fury.
Oh wow.
You know, classic Bruce Lee film.
Right.
And we're kind of thinking about like, what if someone like Brian Dennehy
Oh wow.
had been cast as Chen Zhen?
Interesting.
That's a very different
Completely different vibe.
energy.
Yeah.
Very, very different energy.
Yeah. So you know, Dennehy obviously like a very commanding presence, very dramatic, big guy.
Yeah, big guy, yeah. And Bruce Lee, very agile, you know, like quick movements,
Yeah. Very sleek.
very sleek, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like right off the bat, you can see how
How the energy of the movie would be completely different.
completely different. How would that affect like the fighting, the choreography? Well, I think you'd have to totally rethink the fight scenes, you know, because you're not dealing with someone who's going to be doing all those like really quick movements and the high kicks and all that. You're talking about someone who's going to be using their size and their strength to their advantage. So, you know, it would be much more about like grappling and maybe like throws and powerful punches.
You know, trying to imagine like that restaurant scene, you know, where he goes in and fights all those guys.
I was just thinking about that.
Like imagine him just like, you know.
It's like tossing people around.
Yeah, just like
rag dolls.
Yeah, just like chucking people, you know, just like.
Yeah, it'd be much more like brutal and kind of like a force of nature kind of thing.
Right, yeah, like a.
Not so much about like the artistry of the movement, but like the raw power.
Right, so that it becomes less about like, you know, this beautiful, like almost balletic kind of fight, and more about like
just brute force.
Brute force, yeah. I mean, would they even have to like change the way it's filmed, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think the camera work would have to be very different. You know, because you wouldn't want to be doing all those like quick cuts and close-ups on the feet and stuff like that.
Wow.
You'd want to be like pulling back and showing like the full scope of his size and his power.
Right, yeah.
So, you know, maybe some longer takes, you know, maybe even some slow motion to really emphasize like the impact.
Yeah, like the weight
of his movements.
of his movements, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he hits someone, you want to feel it.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to feel like the force of that blow.
It's almost like it would make the fight scenes like kind of suspenseful. You know, like you don't know when he's gonna explode, but you can feel like this tension building.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it would be much more about like that anticipation, you know, like you're just waiting for him to unleash that fury.
Right, yeah.
And then when he does, it's like
It's terrifying.
terrifying. Yeah, it's like a force of nature, you know?
And so then it's not just about the fight scenes then, but it's also like how we see his emotional journey as well.
Right. I mean, I think Dennehy's acting style, you know, he's very good at conveying that kind of like simmering rage.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that would really add a lot to the character of Chen Zhen. You know? Like imagine the scene where he confronts the Russian consul.
Right.
You know, instead of just being like, you know, kind of like outwardly angry, be like like contained fury, you know?
Yeah.
And it would be like even more intimidating.
Right. Yeah, it would be like almost like a quiet menace.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what he's gonna do, but he's capable of anything.
Yeah. And so then like all that outward, you know, physical like expression of rage becomes like more internalized.
Right. It's like it's all bottled up inside, and then when it finally explodes, it's gonna be devastating.
Think about that final fight scene.
Oh my god.
You know, the one at the dojo?
Yeah.
I mean, with Hiroshi Suzuki.
With Hiroshi Suzuki, yeah, like that. I mean, if it's Dennett, that's not just like a graceful duel anymore.
No, that's like a brawl.
That's like a brawl.
Yeah, that's like two forces of nature colliding.
I can just imagine like the sound design.
Oh yeah.
You know, like every hit is like this thud.
It's like a thud, yeah.
And like the music is like this, you know, like really intense.
Yeah, like almost like a mournful score or something.
Yeah, like a mournful score. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be a fight, it would be like a
tragedy?
Like a tragedy, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've been talking a lot about Chen Zhen, but like what about the rest of the characters?
Yeah, how do they fit into this?
Yeah, like how would they even interact with this version of Chen Zhen?
I think they'd have to adjust.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, like Nora Miao's character, Yan Lear.
Right.
You know, she'd have to be much more like cautious, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
around him.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's this like unpredictable force, Yeah. And maybe even like the comedic relief characters.
Oh, yeah. Those would be really important, I think.
Yeah.
To kind of like break up the tension a little bit.
Yeah, because if it's just like intense Dennehy the whole time,
The whole time. Yeah, that could be a little overwhelming.
it would be exhausting.
Yeah,
You need those little moments of levity.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, like, this whole conversation has really just made me think about, like, the power of casting.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just about putting a famous face in a movie. It's about, like,
It's about finding the right actor for the role,
finding the right actor who can actually embody
the essence of the character.
the essence of the character. Yeah.
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 And it's amazing how like one casting choice can completely change the whole feel of a film.
Yeah, like, the whole DNA of the film is different.
Exactly. Yeah, and it makes you think, like what other kind of crazy casting choices could you come up with?
Yeah, like, what other movies?
What other movies could you completely transform?
Yeah, like, what if,
It's fun to think about.
it is fun to think about. It's something to think about the next time you're watching a movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it really shows you like how much potential there is in storytelling, Like
Yeah.
there's so many different ways to tell a story and casting is just one element of that.
But it's a big element.
It's a huge element, yeah.
Yeah, and this has been a great deep dive. I think
Yeah, this has been fun.
this has been really fun.
Yeah, I love thinking about this kind of stuff.
Me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive,
Yeah, thanks for having me.
and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.